What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Hojo Show with your boy Howard. What is going on, everybody? I feel like I've been neglecting y'all a little bit, and I had to hurry up and get my AWS on the line because I got to get caught up because I hate feeling like I'm not giving y'all my 100%. And so we are going to get into some craziness that Trina has brought up on herself with her latest responses to the first episode of the Braxton season 2. And we're also going to talk about this clip where Mama Dee is on that podcast with Nick Cannon and where they play spades or whatever. And she's on that with a Scrappy, and she makes I feel like it's just a very dumb statement and admitting something that I feel like they should have took to the grave as well. And so y'all just sit back because we finna get into that. All right? So if you're new here, kick off your shoes and get comfortable because we family, baby. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on so you can be notified whenever I drop another banger like this. And without further ado, y'all ready? Let's get it!
Yes, I'm jaded. Most of the things I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you chase. You'll try to come back when you faint.
So, first things first, I think I'm going to start with, you know what? We're going to start with Mama Dee. So, there's this podcast. I don't really watch it, but I know it's like where this girl and Nick Cannon, they play spades and they be having different guests on. And Mama Dee and Scrappy are telling a story about his 14th birthday. And they are going into detail on what and who was there. And I just want y'all to listen to this. And I want to have a brief conversation on this, and we can move around like James Brown. All right, y'all ready? Let me share the screen.
Free. That free
The
was
perk
coming
of the family
for your birthday. And
Oh,
tell the truth. What she doing?
I think I was 14 or something like that, and she so I had a full-blown party, and we in the hood, like full-blown, everybody came because they, we popular in the hood,
And then I had the
so
whole.
look, she had the whole.
And
So hold on, Mom
okay,
said,
go ahead, you tell me.
Man, Mom said, "Hey, come on, let's get it started."
Blew the whistle.
Boom.
Put the girls out. How about they went and got their parents?
Yeah. Cause we had
the little girls.
My mama
Now
had
the young teenagers.
my mama had strippers in there.
Right. Yeah.
For my 14th birthday.
Got rid of the school girls and brought the real ladies in, the grown women.
And everybody came back. Everybody came back to the door. All the mamas came back. Like, hold on.
I stood my ground 10 toes down.
She was like, yeah, this my house though.
This my house. We're going to my house.
If you got a son in here that don't need to be in here, please take him out.
Please call him out. But we need to get up out of here.
But yeah, we're gonna do.
We're doing some things. Because nothing wrong with the LGBT.
All the girls came back, and we continued the party.
Yeah, and that's how we did.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Hey, for my 14th birthday party.
That's a hell of a party.
I ain't even know that was going.
Party story.
I wasn't even looking. Bro, I wasn't even looking for nothing like that, bro. I was sitting there like the whole time, like strippers. I'm like, cause this is like when I look back,
Chuck E. Cheese.
No, look though, bro. I look back at it though. That was traumatized. That was traumatized.
After therapy.
After therapy. After therapy, money.
So I want to make sure y'all are understanding what is actually being discussed here. This lady had strippers at Scrappy's birthday party when he turned 14. And she's saying they told the parents, get your kids up out of here if you need them because we finna do some stuff. That's what Mama Dee saying. She told the parents. And she had strippers for her 14-year-old child for his birthday. And, there's a lot that really just never seems to, register to me when stuff like this comes out. Because it's like, Cannon is not saying anything. I don't know this woman's name, but she ain't saying nothing either. This is not cute. This is actually very strange. 13 turning 14, that's a child, baby. That's a child. You can very well be locked up and sent to prison for this. That is a child, and that could very well be considered grooming. I don't understand how adults do not intervene and call people out when they say and admit stuff like this. But let her finish going. Hold on.
Yeah.
So wait, are you in therapy too?
No, she's not. I keep begging her to go to therapy.
Because I think he wants you to work through some of the stuff.
All the trauma. Like
most 14-year-olds is getting bikes or something for their birthday. No, you giving this nigga bitches. Nothing against the LGBT community, but I just wanted him to chase pussy, then told the person. That's all. That's all I was trying to do. In my defense.
No offense to the LGBT community, but you wanted him to chase pussy and not purses. Has to be one of the most ignorant statements to come out of a woman's mouth. This is stupid. It's like, for some reason, there's this thing where the black community, fathers and parents, and it's what's crazy is it be the ones that had the worst back history that does stuff like this. This is literally the exact same thing that Boosie did with his son, except his son was 13 and he had a grown ass woman perform oral sex on his son to check him out, make sure he was good, and said that proudly. Mama Dee was a pimp. That's her history. She was a pimp. She had hoes. She was into all of that. And she got some strippers to come to her child's birthday and perform and strip for some kids. And like I said, you never see none of them when stuff like this is said in the midst of these other adults. They do not condemn them or say, wait a minute now, that ain't normal, baby. Now, the girl did say 14-year-olds don't usually do that for their birthday, correct? But I mean, seriously, are you understanding, Mama Dee, that this could very well be something you could have been sent to prison for? Are you aware of that? That's not a situation where the cops will come and look around and say, oh, they're good. That's nothing. They're fine. And if you don't understand and think it's a big deal, imagine the roles being reversed and that's a 14-year-old little girl at her birthday and her mom invites some male strippers to come perform for her. That's if you see nothing wrong with it being done to a 14-year-old son. Just imagine it being a 14-year-old little girl and there are strippers, men, to perform for her and some other little girls at a birthday party. That is crazy. That is nasty. That is despicable. That is horrible. And all because you doing everything you can to prevent him from wearing purses and chasing pussy. The thing about that with people like this is, okay, that was the reason why you did that, Mama Dee, because you wanted him to chase pussy and not purses. But he chased pussy and still turned out to be a deadbeat, no good, low life father. So like, what do you have to really be proud of? Because at him being 40 something years old, you at 60, almost 70 years old, you still have to jump online and feel like you got to get in and insert yourself into his business and interfere with his relationships. And he's an overgrown, not grown, but overgrown ass, older ass man. What did you really feel like you accomplished here? You did all of that, but you didn't teach him how to be a good man, a good husband, a good father. You didn't teach him none of that, but you taught him how to lay up and indulge with women at 14, strippers at 14. He said he was traumatized. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he was. To me, that's just nasty. It's horrible and it's dumb as hell. Like, it's really, really dumb. And it just really pisses me off to hear adults brag about stuff like that when you're talking about children. Because that's low-key borderline like R. Kelly's type of stuff if y'all really think about it. That's grooming. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that. That is weird. And when people say stuff like, oh, they just boys. That's just boys being boys. That's not good, sweetie. You can be sent up in prison for $5.99 for some crazy freaked out stuff like that. That ain't normal. And I can't stand the way that a lot of these heterosexuals like that try to make it seem normal. It's always like the people that ran the streets and was into gun violence and beating on women and bringing harm to women. It's always them type. And that's their backstory when you listen to them say stuff like this to cover up or defend and justify grooming, exploitation, exploiting kids and doing stuff like that. That's nasty. And I'm sorry, Mama Dee ass needs to be locked up for that. She do. When you teaching your children, teach these boys how not to put their hands on women. Teach them how not to beat and hurt on women and think that it's okay. Teach them how to not abuse women mentally and tear them down and make them feel less than, all because they being good to them and your sons don't know how to be faithful and appreciate them. Teach them values. Like, if we're going to talk about teaching them something, you didn't teach him nothing because he didn't even really amount to anything. Being, besides Lil Scrappy, we some headbusters, loving hip hop Atlanta, a deadbeat dad that gets talked about by his kid's child for being and not doing the things that he's supposed to be doing. Like, you didn't teach him nothing. He couldn't even pay his half of the rent when he stayed with Bambi. What did you really teach him, sweetie? That's ridiculous. Y'all should have took that to the grave, or Mama Dee should have. That's stupid. That is so stupid. You did that because you wanted him to chase pussy and not purses. Girl, please. I mean, at the end of the day, even if he turned out to be gay, I'm sure he would at least been a better man than how he is now. That ain't worth nothing. And that who he is now and has been to women is nothing to brag about. Nothing to brag about. So, it's just ridiculous and stupid to me. But I'm going to go ahead and Move on because I can read her all day long. Let me just move on. The Braxtons. So Trina has been getting red for saying some real crazy stuff online, some stuff that doesn't even make sense. And what's crazy about all this is, Trina, I was rooting for you. And I said I was giving all y'all some grace and really trying to, have an open mind and not really go in on y'all. But you ain't make this hard at all for me with you. Like my last video, I was trying to show you a whole lot of grace. And not even 24 hours after that, looking at the stuff you said, it just made me take all of that back. I don't know. You grind my gears with this ridiculous stuff that you said, but let's take a listen to that. I'm gonna show
as the public says, for real. Okay, I'm going to say this. I cannot negate anyone's feelings in any way, shape, or form. And I will say this. I think that you can never put a time limit on someone's feelings, their emotions, or even their version of what the truth may be to them. But I do wish that the people that were spoken about were able to tell their own version of their story, of their truth, because they're no longer with us.
First of all, God forgive me when I said this, but fuck Gabe. May he rest wherever his soul desire, because that girl was only 16 years old, okay? And my thing with that is, if you felt like that was really your concern, is allowing him to be heard as well, your ass would have got one of them therapists or counselors that y'all had on that show damn near every season and sit down with her and Gabe to resolve and find out and get to the root of exactly what happened and come to a resolve. If that's what you really cared about. See, I'm not no dummy. I can take, a little bit, and I know how to extend some grace, but we're not supposed to act ignorant. Like, we're not going to do ignorant. And watching these clips, when I first heard that, I just felt so disgusted that you would even attempt to use that as a rebuttal, like his voice needed to be heard and you wish he was here. Well, girl, you should have set that up immediately once you found out. You didn't care that much then for his side to be told, because you had years to get that done. So let's not act like you give a damn now. Don't do it.
And that's not always fair. It's not always fair. And people have to talk about things when they're ready to talk about them. But I can't disregard anybody's feelings. I said what I said. I think that you can call it family secrets. You can call it, Braxton no family values, like I saw some people say.
It's not the name anymore.
Right. It's just the Braxtons right now. I don't think, like I said on the show, I'm going to reiterate it again. Everything is not for public consumption. I think that I'm not saying cover the wagon. I'm just saying that things should be talked about, things should be dealt with, and things should be discussed if you want real, true healing. I don't think that social media is a forum for people to hear things, especially if it involves them firsthand. Social media is not a place to hear things firsthand.
Okay, so if you felt that way, Trina, every goddamn time you still converse with Gabe throughout that whole situation, once you found out, that should have been your opportunity to make time for y'all to resolve this and have a sit down or conversation so that it wouldn't get to this point. Now, I am one of those people that feels like stuff involving like family, personal stuff, like even friendships, somebody that may not go well anymore, and I could really air some shit out. I really could. But I've always felt like it's not for the internet. My content, my craziness, that's for the internet. But my personal stuff like that is not for the internet. In y'all situation, unfortunately, it's kind of hard for y'all for you to try to use that, because y'all have put every single thing in y'all about y'all life on TV for years, well over a decade. Everything. So why is it that now you don't feel like it's for public? Like, if you really felt like it was that personal, you have to understand, Trina, that you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball because you had so many years to resolve this and get with Ashley. You had to, and for her to come this far and get to the point of no return where she felt like her only outlet was the internet, the day she first dropped that first video, she must have felt like she had nobody. And if you saying yourself, you can't tell nobody how to feel, you can't deny anyone's feelings or how long they should feel that way, then you have to understand the reason she did this was because of her feelings. And because of her feelings, she had no other choice but to bring it to the internet, because if y'all didn't give her no time of day or opportunity to tell her side or the time to hear her out and be a listening ear and show her support as a family, then okay, let me bring it to the internet because they love putting everything on the internet any damn way. So let's put it on the internet. They don't respond to me. They've been ignoring me all these years. So let's put it on the internet because they're going to respond then. And guess what? Now you're responding. But you're not getting the response that you wanted. When really, if you was just a decent person, and I do still feel like you do have some decency in you, Trina, but I feel like none of us are perfect. And a lot of times, we're all just going through and experiencing life together, and we experienced a lot of things from the first time, and we may not know how to handle it. But through the journey, there's always a lesson in the experience, and so you have to take the lesson out and leave everything else. And I feel like that was your opportunity to take a lesson from that and use that lesson to build a better relationship with Ashley and all of your sisters, to be honest with you. And I can see if y'all was so messed up that y'all didn't do therapy and stuff like that, like I could see and honestly have an understanding if that was the case. But y'all have had so many therapists on that show. From what's her name? Miss Shepherd, whatever her name is, with the short hair, that therapist. Y'all done had TD Jakes on there. Y'all done did it with Iyanla. Like y'all have had therapists on that damn near every season. Right. And so right now, it's hard to have an understanding when you had the opportunity and you didn't use it. So to me, I look at it like you must didn't care. That's just being honest. Let me let this clip finish so we can get up out of here.
Would I be willing to have a conversation? Absolutely. But I think that needed to happen prior to. Do you feel like this is all worth it for all your family business to be put out there? Is it all worth it? And I'm going to actually address that question and say absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. Because our family is just like everybody else's family. And there might be something that happened within our family that might make somebody say, you know what, that's happening in my family and we can reach resolve. If they can do it, I can do it, we can do it.
So in that case, if you feel like it's all worth it, then what in the hell are you talking about? That's all I got from that. If you feel like it was worth it, what in the hell are you complaining about then? Because it's worth it. You can't show and put everything else on the internet involving your family, and then now you want to pick and choose. Oh, that's not good for the internet. Oh, we shouldn't bring that to the internet. We can give y'all a little bit, but some skeletons we need to keep for ourselves. That's what it sounds like to me. No, baby, let all of your skeletons out. However they may come out, let them come on out. Like, that's not how it works, sweetie. That really just pissed me off seeing that because I was rooting for you, Trina. And this is not to say that Trina doesn't have a good heart, because I still feel like she has a good heart. I feel like she means well. I just feel like she's dumb sometimes. And this, to me, will be a time where I feel like she's being willfully dumb to me. That's just the best way I can put it. It seems she's being willfully dumb because, Trina, you know that just doesn't sound logical, and it's not right. I feel like you know that. Like, if you felt this way about Gabe not having the opportunity to speak, if you felt this way, why in the hell would you not take it upon yourself to set the situation up to where he can have a moment to tell his side and speak his piece, and y'all can come up with some type of resolve or solution to y'all problem? That's my issue. What was the wait for? Why did you wait so long? Why? And then the thing is, I feel like some stuff just has to come out the way it comes out, because had Ashley never came out and exposed this situation, I'm sure we would have never heard about it. Like, at the end of the day, you can be mad at Ashley if you want to, but for her to have to go to this extent to let everything out, she must have felt like she did not have an outlet, and you cannot be mad or upset at her at all. I don't feel bad for none of y'all that she exposing, because it had to come to light. It had to. Y'all have to learn to do better when it comes to picking and choosing what y'all do and don't want to be on the internet. No, baby, because from what it's looking like, had she not brought this stuff out, what y'all was going to have for a storyline? Tell me. What was going to be y'all storyline for another season? That's my question. But I love y'all. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what y'all think about this craziness with Mama Dee and Scrappy pulling some crazy pimp exploitation mess. And also what y'all think about this stuff with Trina and what she was saying in reference to at the incident with Ashley and Gabe, and how it should have been kept from the public and how it should have been brought out. In the meantime, I love y'all so much. Make sure y'all continue to like and subscribe. Also, make sure you keep your notifications turned on so you can be notified whenever I drop another banger like this. I love y'all. Peace.
Oh babe, oh babe, oh yeah, oh yeah. Why is this so funny? Oh yeah, just me, alright. Oh yeah, why is this so funny?